Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I want today to touch on a topic that is a bit overlooked oftentimes, but if you go to Google, it's actually one of the most searched Google phrases at all. And that is sales stressful? And let me just tell you right away that mental clarity is such a big focus now that it's very, very important to actually take care of your own mental health. So if you feel stressed, please seek some advice for that. But right off the get-go, I want to say that yes, sales is stressful. And that can be of any number of reasons. So in a survey done by an online career database called PayScale, there was actually 73% of sales account managers that said that it was highly stressful, the occupation they were in. And that's a high number, like 3 out of 4 people almost feel that it's highly stressful, not just stressful, but highly stressful. But as I said earlier, stress is something that is here, and that is due to a number of factors. You can be stressed about your quota if you aren't meeting it. You can be stressed about the number of calls or meetings if you can't fulfill that number, and you can be stressed about keeping your customer rankings high enough. And there's so many different topics that you can really get stressed about from your day-to-day operation as a salesperson. But don't get me wrong, stress can be good in small dosage, because it's kind of like it drives competitiveness as the same way as internal competition, stuff like President's Club, commission, and sales incentives. It drives a nature in people that if we just push them ever so slightly, put some pressure on, we can get them to perform better. So sales managers use some small stressors, and it's basically to drive activity, because if you just put ever so slightly a bit of pressure on people, they will perform more. They will probably perform better as well, especially if they are competitive in nature, and that will give better results for the company, and thus also obviously for the sales manager and for you as a sales rep. To do this effectively, you would need to set realistic goals that are not disheartening, but they need to be ever so slightly more out of reach than the goals they previously had. And that makes them do a bit more work into it, and thus actually make them perform better. And this is some of the reasons that, for example, KPIs exist. Because, for example, if you had a goal of 100 calls in a week, the next goal would be maybe 105 or 110 or something like that. And it's more, for sure. It doesn't seem way out of reach. For example, if you would jump from 100 to 200, that would seem more impossible than jumping from 100 to 105 to 110 and so on up there. So you can do the small increments instead, and that will push it. That will push the sales rep a bit more, but they don't feel too stressed about it. Maybe just a little bit, but they'll probably manage 5 more calls during a week. So for a sales rep, this means that they need to tap into some energy inside and actually bring out the results and try to perform better. A lot of the top sales reps that we see can do this instinctively. It's in their nature to dip into this energy and embrace the competition and embrace the new stress as a gift, and then they act upon it. For not most, but a lot of other sales reps, maybe they need to be more guided, like to have a path clearly set out and said do this and this and this, and they will reach the results. You can't just go out and put as much stress on people as you see fit, because that won't work. In the end, employee happiness will plummet, and that will obviously reflect on the results, and the sales organization is no different to that. So employee happiness is very key. So mitigating stress requires one of two things. Either it requires lesser workload, or it requires more resources. So the lesser workload is obvious, because if you need to do less work, then you don't feel as stressed about the work you actually have to do. But more resources is obviously also something to consider. For example, it could be some sort of automation system, business intelligence that clearly sets out what you need to do, automate some of your tasks that you had to do manual before that maybe were not as productive as the actual sales work. So a lot of tools can be embraced and put into your everyday life to actually help bring out a bit more productiveness from yourself. And in addition to making the workloads more manageable, also something a company can do is embrace a better work-life balance. It can promote positive habits for your health, and also it could be, for example, to fund a gym membership, so you can actually go out, use your body, and get in better shape, because that will also help you with the mental clarity I talked about earlier. So as a salesperson, I think it's very, very important to take a feeling inside yourself and see if you are stressed or not. And because they can work with it more than other people can do. So it's very, very important to listen to yourself. And if you feel overburdened or stressed out, that's really, really important that you go and see somebody, your manager or colleagues or anybody else, HR, and whoever can help you with it, because maybe there's stuff that can be done about it. As I mentioned earlier, about more work-life balance, for example, and other things that can be adjusted on your day-to-day life. Or maybe if it's just a really, really, really stressful environment, maybe it is time to find a new job. So as I said in the beginning of the video, yes, sales is stressful, especially if you are stressed about not hitting your quota or your KPIs, stuff like that. But as I mentioned, it is something that can help induce a bit of activity as a salesperson. So if it's applied ever so slightly, it'll make you perform better. But if it's too much, then you will plummet down and it will not be helpful at all. So as I said before, listen to yourself and take a feeling inside and see if it's something that helps you or not. Because it is something that is in the industry and it is something that isn't talked about that much. I feel the jobs that I've had have had a very, very healthy focus on work-life balance and offering the incentives, as I mentioned before, for example, the gym membership and positive habits, positive healthy habits. But still, there's obviously still room for every organization to grow in, especially on this front. Well, so if it's something that's really helpful for you, you should try to share it with other colleagues, or try to have a conversation within the workplace to see how you can maybe evolve on that topic. So this is me for this video. I hope it was helpful. Yes, sales can be stressful. It's the name of the game, and it's why most of us are here, because we do enjoy that sort of push. We do enjoy that competitiveness, and it drives a lot of us to perform better and reach higher pay or better results, or admiration from our peers, or clap on the shoulder from our boss, or whatever we really set out to strive for. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out ever so slightly. And I will see you in the next video. Hope you have a good day, guys. Bye.